Hello everyone, and happy 2021! Thanks again for everyone understanding about the Christmas special. For those of you confused, please take a look at the community tab for a post about what's going on. If you can, check it out by the 20th to get your voice heard. Thank you in advance for all who fill out the form. For now, however, we're going to dive back into the world of My Pride because by the fang was that an awesome 8th episode! From the characters, animation, story, and themes, the series is getting better and better each episode. However, I think the one thing that caught everyone's eye was the reveal of the reincarnation cycle that Karabi, Lite, and Kyoga are stuck in. The cycle we learn apparently not only affects the bond the goddesses have, but also the entire dry season and everyone else. So, with the identities of Karabi and Kyoga revealed, the question of the identity of Lite is now on everyone's mind. And while many have given their stance on it, I want to give my best shot at it. Despite not that much information being revealed, I want to see with my skills if maybe I got something. Something that perhaps may unravel the mystery or lead us down a clearer path. So sit back and relax as this week on Wolf Tales we dive into the true identity of Lite and what this means for the future of My Pride. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Wolf Tales where literature runs wild! Before we get into the video, I'd like to say one quick note. To all of you watching this video, I want to say on behalf of everyone on the team, a big thank you to everyone here. Honestly, it's an amazing feeling seeing people enjoy the videos we make, and we hope to keep doing it. So thank you to every single person who has liked the videos, subscribed to the channel, and left thoughtful comments. It all really means a lot, and we can't thank you enough. With that said, by the fang, I was not thinking reincarnation was coming into this, but I'm not complaining! The concept of reincarnation cycles, the reveal of Azra being missing, and the knowledge of these cycles' rules was incredible to learn! With only 2 episodes, there isn't much time left before the hopeful reveal of who Lite is going to come into play, and that's important considering the curse. If nothing somehow becomes the demise of a lion who turns out to be Lite without her knowing, the cycle will have to start anew and we'll be back at square one. So today, using a little bit of analysis, a whole lot of work, and a whole bunch of luck, I'm going to try and guess Lite's reincarnation identity. Or well, top 2 identities, but we'll get to that in a bit. So, let's start this theory off right and begin in a place not with lions but with elements. That's right, we're diving into the Avatar world and examining our first important clue into solving this mystery, the Avatar cycle. Now, I'm not saying Karabi is a firebender, Water Hunter's a waterbender, or nothing is the Avatar. Though that would be really cool to see, I don't mean that. See, sometimes in storytelling, writers use a tool called archetypes. Archetypes are a kind of blueprint that can be set up for a story structure that others can then alter and use in their own stories. The hero's journey, for example, is the most famous archetype in the world, with thousands of stories sharing its similar storyline. While not officially named, Disney has also used an archetype in recent times of the big villain reveal twist stories. This has in turn spread out and affected many companies to now use this story structure in their own stories. Because of this, we as the audience can use these archetypes to predict character growth in the story as well as big plot reveals, even if the stories are not related at all. An example I've seen in this is the character Cozy Glow and the character Darla Dimple. Not only do both of them have similar appearances, both of them have a similar path throughout the story, as well as personality traits like their prejudice. By using the archetypes, we can figure out early on Cozy Glow's treachery would come about because of the path that Darla Dimple used. So what can we possibly learn from the Avatar cycle when compared to the My Pride cycle? Actually, quite a lot. In the Avatar: The Last Airbender world, the Avatar cycle is depicted on a spiritual level. When the Avatar dies, the soul goes immediately into a new body and the predecessors are carried throughout the new life. It's a very structured cycle that goes a set way each and every time. What's unique about the cycle each time, however, is the Avatar's personality, gender, and sexuality. Although they are each born with a similar spiritual blessing, 2 avatars can be strikingly different. This is how you get pacifist Avatar Aang in one life and Avatar Korra being aggressive. Digging deeper into this, we see the two avatars also share, as well as their predecessors, similar memories and reactions to their predecessors. Avatar Kyoshi was able to perfectly recite a poem that Avatar Kuruk wrote ages ago, while Avatar Aang knew who Avatar Roku was without being told. These memories and subconscious reactions are so strong in an avatar, they can sometimes be used to find the next avatar. See, the Air Nomads had a toy test. Thousands of toys were placed in front of a child, and the child had to pick 4. If the 4 the child picked were the same as the avatar previous, they knew they found the next avatar. With all of this information, the question is now, can we really use this cycle to predict the next identity of Lite? Yes, we can! When looking at both cycles, we can see they share the same archetype. In the case of Hover and Nothing, they seem to share similar traits with their past selves. This includes similar unique facial markings, personality traits, long-term goals, memories, even reactions to events. Heck, they even end up finding and falling in love with each other, though I think a little differently than how they did in this time. Though there are some striking differences, we have proven that the system can be used to identify a person in the cycle. However, while Hover and Nothing had a lot of similarities to their past selves, especially with pelt and facial markings, Lite is trickier. See, Lite has very few markings except for a tuft of fur on his chin, which no modern lion has. While this might seem like a dead end to many, I decided it was time to use both cycles and a character analysis of Lite to make up 6 questions. A test of 6 questions to determine our closest lion candidate from the possible 20+ lion candidates available in My Pride. After sifting through each character, I found only one. Only one got a perfect score. Only one seemed to fit as close as we could get possible through this set of questions, and if I am correct at all, then this is going to be a sucker punch for our poor, prideless heroine. So dear viewers, sit back and relax as I show you my best guess at finally answering the question, who is Lite? The first question we have to ask is the character a lion or a lioness? While gender does not factor into this cycle, I think this cycle is lining up too similarly for Lite not to be a male. It would be an awesome reveal for Lite to be a female this time around, but I think for now we have to cut all lionesses out. Which means all our lionesses from Silent Stalk to Moonstrike are out as we move on to question 2. For our second question, we must ask 2 questions in one. Is the character currently alive, and have they appeared more than once in the series with a speaking role? Obviously, if the cycle is meant to restart if Lite dies and Kansu still wants Nothing to stop the cycle, Lite has to be alive to this day. This doesn't mean he has to be the same age as Nothing, just that he has to be alive. We also know how important this guy is. The team wouldn't pick a random background lion or a fan-picked lion to be the big bad villain, which means the character must be living in this current narrative and has to have at least 2 episodes with a speaking role, which knocks most lions from Spark to Tangle out of the park as we keep Ghost, Proudmane, Fire, and Feather. And while we have 4 lions now, we'll soon be down to only 3 as we roll into question number 3. The third question we have to ask is, which lion is currently suffering as the curse claimed they would? Remember, this whole thing started with a curse from Azra saying Lite would suffer in every life and die by Kyoga or Azra's claws. So it would make sense that the lion in question would be suffering in the present day as the curse said. When examining the living situations of our lions, only one of them is not suffering, and that being is the homophobic honcho Proudmane. See, Fire is a no-mane who from art looks like he's been doing horrible judging by those scars. Ghost appears to be in constant fear and distress from what I am guessing and is seeing ghosts like Goosefeather in Warrior Cats. Feather is a young cub who has to live on the stretch way before he should and is barely scraping by. But Proud? Proud on the other hand is just fine. He has a pride, a steady supply of resources and females to continue his line. Though he did lose some lionesses, as he stated, he can easily replace them and stay healthy and happy. He has no desire to leave, as he explained in episode 7, and seems to have no interest in going after nothing since he let her go in episode 5. Proud isn't suffering. He's thriving. So how could he be Lite if he's currently living pretty well off? Well, he can't. From the looks of things and looking at the facts, I can't say that Proud is Lite. I can say, however, I think he's a red herring. For those of you who think I mean the smoked fish, no, I mean the literary device, though herring is good. Red herrings are basically a piece of information, be it character or something else, meant to divert audiences from the truth. In Frozen, the Duke's hatred for magical beings was just meant to turn people away from suspecting Hans. In Saw 1, John Kramer made himself appear as a corpse so the audience would think that our true killer is someone else and not right in front of us the whole time. In the case of Proud, he seems to be lining up closest to the Duke in this case. That being that he seems to be just the simple answer to the mystery. He's too obvious to be our proper candidate and seems more to be a sign of a literary trap for us to fall for. So with that, we must say goodbye to Proud as we move on to question number 4 with our 3 remaining candidates: Ghost, Fire, and Feather. Question 4, as morbid as it is would nothing feel hesitation to hurt or kill the lion candidate? Again, if nothing kills Lite, the cycle starts again. Since I don't think the team wants to give us a depressing ending, that means the cycle is going to stop this time. Meaning, nothing must have no desire to kill the candidate she's up against in the story. Meaning, it has to be someone she cares about. When looking at our remaining lions, only one of them doesn't fit this idea. Ghost. While Ghost has not been hostile towards her, nothing is kind of scared of him at this point. I mean, he did randomly appear in her dreams, has been kind of creepy to her since, and when he showed up, he tried to take her away with no explanation. We have seen she's been aggressive from him after this point, and I don't think she'd hesitate hurting him. Heck, maybe even killing him. So I don't think Ghost is Lite. As for who I think he is, I think he's a servant of Azra, or the goddesses, and Kansu's employing him to help because he realizes this needs to end. Heck, he even matches up with another character I know called Josiah from the movie Felidae, which makes me think he's the keeper of the shifting place rather than an antagonist. Someone to watch over it and protect Azra. We're probably going to see Ghost again when they finally get to the shifting place where this might be revealed, but I don't think the reveal is going to be Lite. So now we go down to our final 2 candidates, and this, admittedly, viewers, is where it gets a bit tricky, as you'll see in question 5. See, question 5 asks a simple question. Do our candidates have similar personality traits, goals, and appearances to Lite? A simple question may seem to have a simple response, but this isn't the case in this question. While both our lions have traits that don't exactly line up with Lite, they do have some that do. Fire is a lot more cowardly than Lite and has less leadership qualities. Fire also has no chin tuft and a solid pelt color, besides Lite's 2 pelt colors with an underbelly to him. Fire also has less fighting capabilities, which might be because his dad had a light mane, than Lite has. But with that said, Fire does have a mark on him as a cub that looks like it could maybe be a representation of the chin tuft, as well as a desire to keep nothing safe. He does seem to have a strict desire to follow the rules, and when we think back to episode 1, wouldn't let nothing play with them the same way because she's not a main. He also has a connection to nothing because, well, they're brother and sister, meaning she wouldn't want to attack him, and his soul might want to connect with her. Now, when looking over at Feather, there seems to be a lot more similarities, admittedly. Like Fire, Feather seems to have a similar mark on his forehead that looks like it could be a symbol of Lite's chin tuft. While Feather isn't homophobic, he does have a desire to lead and fight like Lite did. Feather also hates Pride Law and desires to change everything to fit his ideals. Even if it is for a good purpose, it still matches up with what Lite did. He definitely has a connection to Nothing, and they're very close as the series has continued. Heck, he even has defended Nothing against his family, and will not back down from a challenge, much like Lite. We could even count the fact that he has blue eyes similar to Lite, but that's a minor point since that seems to be the only one except for Kyoga. So with how close they are, I'm gonna say it's anyone's guess. Both of them overlap so well, it's hard to see who the correct candidate is, which is why I'm saying this right now. This is just a fun little theory, and I'm in favor of either of these two lions winning. However, I do want to take a chance at actually guessing who it is, and personally, I think I have a way to figure out who is our closer like candidate, which is why I saved this final point for the last question. A question that involves a certain trait that seems to be the clearest indication of who our most likely Lite reincarnation is. A trait which I overlooked since the beginning but now see in a new light. Who runs from Nothing and who runs to Nothing? In My Pride, we know that Hover and Nothing are drawn to each other because of who they were in a past life. No matter the danger they faced, they constantly try to be with each other. The only thing that stops Nothing is what stopped Kyoga for a while: societal expectations, and in the case of this time, Pride Law. The only thing that stopped Hover is what stopped Harabi in the past life: death, or the thought of Nothing being dead in this time. Hover and Nothing both have a connection to be with each other, so wouldn't that be the same for Lite and his reincarnation? Well, dear viewers, I believe yes. Yes, it would, but not in the romantic sense. Between Fire and Feather, we have to think about who has been drawn to Nothing more. Who has been the one that always tries to be with Nothing despite the danger? Well, the answer to that is Feather. Fire has multiple times in the past run away from Nothing when push came to shove. The first No Main attack, he left his sister and brother there to die, even if he didn't mean it. When Quick Mane challenged him and told him to leave, he didn't take Nothing or push against it, he just caved in and left. When Proud took over, Fire never stayed to find his sister or try and seek her out, he just kept running. Fire constantly runs from danger, even at the cost of Nothing's safety. And for those who were thinking that Proud could kill him and that's why he ran, think of it this way. Why didn't Fire just wait on the prideless stretch? It's the prideless stretch. No one's out there except for other No Mains. He could have waited at that spot or near it to either help her if she got out or visited her and gotten her out. Instead, for reasons I don't know, he still ran to save himself. He only thought about himself, and kind of in every other time, which I don't blame him. It's a dangerous time, and I get why he did it. Feather, on the other hand, has kept running to Nothing. As best shown in episode 4 and 5, Feather is always with her. Despite No Mains and other dangers and anything else, he's drawn to Nothing like a magnet. Besides the fact he wants to be physically close with her as brother and sister, Feather also depends on Nothing like a son and mother connection. He constantly wants to make her smile. He bonds with her quite quick and loves to receive praise from her. Despite the issues she had with him in the beginning, he kept wanting to be around her, almost subconsciously, like he knew he needed to be with her. This might be something in Lite's old reincarnation soul that is dictating Feather that this is who he needs to stay by his side because this is Kyoga. In episode 5, when the broken tree branch almost hits Feather, some may seem it was just a fluke. With the knowledge we know now, not only can we guess this was a test from Kansu, but it also might have been a hint and a sign for us and nothing. Remember, the Emerald Valley burnt down from a massive fire despite Kansu's reigns. So, wouldn't a great symbol for one of Lite's reincarnations to hint at who it is being a falling tree branch burning and aiming towards him? Think about it. Kansu's tests where I said she was just seeing if nothing was selfless, I think I was wrong and it was more than just that. I don't think it was just to see if she was selfless. I think Kansu was trying to see if nothing cared for Feather, to see if things would be different in this cycle. This is even more important this time around since she knows that nothing has talked about how annoying Feather is. If nothing had left Feather in that test, Kansu would have probably shown her a bit of stuff, but she would have known that the cycle would have continued and to wait for the next one. Since nothing stayed, however, it meant there was a chance for the cycle to break, which is why Kansu revealed herself. In case of memories appearing, Kansu also probably didn't want Feather to see the memories to be on the safe side to make sure nothing reawakened. With all of this said, I know some may still think the fire is the prime candidate, and honestly, that's fair. Like I said, it is a neck and neck race for those two individuals to see which one will be the winner. However, for those still on the fence, let me share a few points with you of why I think it's not fire. Many point to episode 9 being titled Fire as our sign Fire will be revealed as Light, but I don't think so. I think this title is hinting at Fire will finally come back in and we get to catch up on where he's been. As well, I think he's either going to eventually at the end join Nothing's pride and or take over an existing pride from around his area. While I really hope Barkmane and Moonstrike won't be separated, I honestly don't think Fire could win a fight unless his sister really helped him. While I personally believe due to his cowardice and lack of leadership he will not keep his pride long, if at all, I do think the episode will be focused on him running a pride and not him being revealed as Light. I think it'll also have issues such as having to deal with being a leader of an actual pride, confronting any kind of cowardice he has to either stand his ground or run away and continue his cycle, or the fact he's gonna have to confront Feather who lost his family thanks to him in a way if we think about it. I've also heard some people believe that Sharptongue was protecting Fire because she wanted to also protect Kyoga and Light's souls. While this is a very interesting point, I don't think that was necessarily what happened. I think she more saw that Kyoga was definitely nothing, and she saw that Fire was meant to help Kyoga in the end break the cycle. So she realized both of these cubs had to live because when push comes to shove, in the end, they will be the ones to stop the cycle. It could also be that she didn't want to make it seem suspicious why she was protecting one cub over the other, and just lumped Fire in to not rise suspicion and to save her grandson's life. After all, Sharptongue seemed to give way more information to Nothing than she did Fire. She didn't even try to stop him when he was leaving or give him sage advice. She just let him do what he did. While yes, it was part of a deal, he still didn't get anything from his grandmother, compared to Nothing, who she focused on about the curse and the cycle. So there you have it. My reason why I believe it is Feather who will be revealed as our true reincarnation of Light. While it is just a theory, and one I made for fun, I still stand by what I believe in, and that the best guess for this whole mystery is Feather, followed closely by Fire. While there are a few smaller points I could randomly guess at, like how I kind of have this feeling that Azra fell for Karabi because she could see from Kyoga, and because they were blessed by the goddesses that she kind of saw what was going on and loved her, and Kansu kind of kept it quiet, or the fact that Moonstrike might know where the shifting place is, that's more just speculation because it's fun to speculate. For now, with the information we've gathered, you may ask, where do we go from here? Can we use all of this to guess the end of the series? Oh, I'm not sure about that, but I want to have fun taking a guess, so sit back, relax, and enjoy one last time as we look over with this information we've gathered what might happen with an idea of Feather being Lite. So at the end of or after episode 9, Fire will either join Nothing or at least help her get to the shifting place, and possibly a little after. When they get there, somehow Hover and her pride will meet Nothing and her pride. Talks will be had, maybe Nothing needs some alone time because of abusive family, and she'll be separated from the group. As she wanders off, she'll meet Ghost, and they'll talk, revealing his backstory. He'll say sorry for upsetting her or making her feel uncomfortable, and she'll gain some insight before going back, making up with her family, and making up with Hover. Eventually, they'll go and find Azra, where the gods will be angry and claim that Nothing brought Light here. A confrontation would break in my mind, and it probably would be revealed one way or another that Feather is Light. Nothing will fight against Azra and explain that she cares about him as a sibling, maybe even a son, and Azra will explain that he must pay for his crimes. As a fun tidbit, Azra may notice Karabi or Hover and say that she must now defend her old friends, or possibly even lovers, from their old cruel enemy. Possibly, it could go one of two ways after this, but resulting in the same kind of ending. Nothing could either use her kindness and patience to stop Azra and get her to talk, or she could sacrifice herself for Feather. If option 1 happens, Azra will talk peacefully, settle down, and say that she will go with them in a mortal form to see Suns. If it's the latter option, I think maybe Azra will revive Nothing because Goddess of Death and bless her to guide her to Suns, being Azra's eyes. Either way, Azra will join their group and Nothing will have her own pride to lead now and feel supported and safe. Feather will maybe feel worried about hurting Nothing and try to run away, only for Nothing to stop him and assure him she will not let him become like Light. They will all agree to help each other, and all the lions run off to go find Suns and bring an end to the cycle. Meanwhile, on other challenges as fun little tidbits for new little enemies, if there is a season 2, Suns could choose a blessed one to go against them. I mean, that goddess has a big bit of anger with her, let's say, so maybe she's still a little furious about all of this going on. Especially if Azra got in the way of the mortals yet again. Perhaps it's someone like Proud or some new group to come in and stop them, but regardless, Nothing will find temporary peace in her own little pride as we hope and wait for season 2. But what do you think? Think I bonked my head one too many times on the rocks in this cave, or am I onto something? Let me know in the comments below. I'm so happy for everyone who stuck around to the end of this video, and thank you for all your time and patience during it. Next month, we're going to be looking at a certain set of literature with the first collab ever on this channel since the reboot. Join me next time when an old friend of mine and I look at a fantasy series with lions as well and ask a certain question. How does death of the author affect one's enjoyment in the series, especially when new information is revealed about that author? For now, this has been Silver Starling. See you next time you want to run with the pack.